Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. I got a busy week ahead of us. Before I get started, I want to just give you a quick update on something. I know in the past there's been several questions about the president donating his salary to charity. I got an update for you on that. To that end, the president has spoken with counsel and made the decision to donate his first quarter salary in total to a government entity. And he has chosen this quarter to donate it to the National Park Service. The Park Service has cared for our parks since 1916, and the president is personally proud to contribute the first quarter of his salary to the important mission of the Park Service, which is preserving our country's national security. So it is my pleasure, on behalf of the President of the United States, to present a check for $78,333 to the Secretary of the Interior, Ryan Zinke, and Superintendent of the Harpers Ferry Park site, Superintendent Brandenburg. So, no, it's straight up. It is every penny that the president received from the first quarter since the day that he was.
It's not a full quarter.
It is, yeah, right, because the Constitution says that. Sorry, that was. So it's from January 20th, noon forward.
We think it'll cash, though.
With that, I'm going to let Secretary Zinke make a few comments about the Department of Interior and the work that they're doing, and hopefully the President's. So.
Well, thanks. And I'm Secretary Zinke from the Department of Interior, for those that don't know me. Obviously, it's great to be with you. Those that don't know me, I get my inspiration from Teddy Roosevelt. And the motto now in the Department of Interior, if you go to Yellowstone and have the opportunity to look at the Roosevelt Arch, it says, inscribed in stone, is for the benefit and enjoyment of the people. And that's our pledge. So for those that aren't familiar with the Department of Interior, we span 12 time zones, from the Virgin Islands all the way to Palau. And within our holdings are 20% of the nation's land. We have 417 national parks. We have 562 federally recognized Indian nations, 567 wildlife refuges, and 221 wilderness areas. And I'm the steward of our nation's finest and most majestic holdings. After riding the horse on my first day, we've been pretty busy. Just on public lands alone, I've signed directives on the first day to expand public access. Important if you're in the West, especially in the far West, as Montana is. We made sure we increased opportunities for traditional hunting, fishing, and conservation efforts, and we've invested millions across 12 states on preserving our conservation efforts there. On energy, that was much of last week was spent on energy. We held one of our most successful leases, 122,000 acres for wind development on federal lands off Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. We also stopped the war on coal by continuing the coal leasing program, and I established an oversight committee to review and analyze across the board rents, royalties on our federal lands, with the objective of, number one, being transparent, number two, being Reagan, trust but verify, and number three, making sure the taxpayers that own the public lands are getting fair value. On the management side, we have unfortunately uncovered a lot of internal controls that weren't there. There's been in the news several incidences of sexual harassment and a culture of discrimination. And you can hear it from me. I put policies forth: zero tolerance for sexual harassment or discrimination. We have 70,000 full-time employees, and each employee deserves the right to enter a workplace that's innovative, teamwork, but free from harassment. On the brighter side, we will pilot the first ever dog-friendly Department of Interior. Puppy Day is coming up, so we've established that. And people ask, why are you doing that? Well, some of it is we compete on millennials. So we're trying to develop ourselves as a friendly department that's going to work with people. We're going to be an advocate for collaboration, and in doing that, we're going to start with being dog friendly. And also we've taken to Twitter. As you know, this administration is Twitter friendly. And so am I at Secretary Zinke. And finally, as a veteran myself, I tell you, I am thrilled at the President's decision to donate the check he did today. I did talk to the President last night, and he has decided, as you know, donate his entire quarter salary, and we're going to dedicate it and put it against the infrastructure on our nation's battlefields. We're about $229 million behind in deferred maintenance on our battlefields alone. And that's on our 25 national battlefields, and we're excited about that opportunity. So thank you very much for the opportunity to be with you, and thank you for American people to trust the stewardship of our nation's greatest holdings with us. So I'd like to thank our Superintendent Brandyburg for being here. He's Harper's Ferry. If you haven't been out there, please do. With that, I'll turn it back to Sean. I will take questions.
How's that war on coal thing working there? You're saying that you're going to open it up because of war on coal. Isn't that kind of contrary to what Teddy Roosevelt wanted in preserving the land?
Well, there's no doubt three things. One is environmentally, it's better to produce energy here under reasonable regulation than watch it get produced overseas with none. Secondly, jobs matter. There's a social cost of not having a job. In some of our communities, coal, mining, forestry are the only job. And you can take it from the Crow Nation in Montana, which I'm familiar with. Like Chairman O'Coyote, the chairman, once said, is it a war on coal is a war on the Crow Nation, and coal jobs are the only jobs. And lastly, national security. It is, from a SEAL perspective, it is better to make sure we're not held hostage on our energy needs in this country. And like you, I don't want my kids, sons and daughters, to have to fight for war over energy resources we have here. So national security is critical in our energy picture. And look, the world is safer when America is stronger. And America is stronger as not being dependent on foreign sources for energy. We can do it here right, and we will. I'm the steward, and certainly we're not going to sell or transfer public land. And I don't pick winners and losers. So coal isn't getting any more of a better deal than anything else. We'll let the market play, but I want to make sure that what we do is cost effective and it produces reliable, abundant, and affordable energy.
But I think to the point, are you going to return the land to its original pristine value?
I'm a Boy Scout. I'm a Boy Scout. So I was taught long ago that when you leave a campground, you leave it in the same or better condition you found it. And that's why we're looking at royalties to make sure we have a reclamation program that makes sense. All of us want clean air, clean water, and I'm concerned, as well as you are, to make sure what we're doing is in the best interest of the public in perpetuity. So last question, ma'am.
Have you thought about redesignating the Gold Butte Monument in Nevada?
We are looking at everything across the board. When I came in, there was a lot of talk about different monuments in different places, and I've talked to the senators. And so everything is on the board, looking at it. No monument in specific, but looking at the process, look at the law, making sure that the monuments follow the law on there. And at the end of the day, it's important that we operate collaboratively. If you're outside of Washington, D.C., there's a lot of anger out there. And I want the Department of Interior, our rangers and land managers, to be first viewed as rangers and land managers, not law enforcement. I don't want to be us to be heavy-handed. And I want us to work with local communities, because that's where we're embedded. Our rangers, you know, they have children. They play soccer, they coach, they do all those things. I want to make sure the Department of Interior is the department that works with local communities, works with the states, and we want to be the YEP team. That means be an advocate rather than an adversary.
Thank you guys.
Thanks. We'll come back.
Okay, I know it's already been a full first day back, but I want to run down a couple of quick things that happened over the weekend. We're fortunate to be championing many great causes during the month of April that are near and dear to the White House. We released several proclamations on Friday. that are all available at whitehouse.gov. This morning, specifically, the president proclaimed April 2nd through the 8th is National Crime Victims' Rights Week. On Saturday,